How is the harping out yonder? How is your day in this reality? I'm a little bit brain dead this evening. I just helped some family move across the state. So there was a lot of heavy lifting and a lot of driving to get back to here. But we are live almost on time. I think we went on 3 minutes late. Had to do a quick little stretch to get my mind right. That's one thing I do before I play the harp a lot of the time is do some like light yoga. I think there's a 10-minute yoga video for tension relief that really helps. I found on YouTube. I think it's the top 2 hits. Hey, how are y'all doing? How's the harping? You got people showing up. Oh, there's a gaggle of people already. Hello, Daniel Underwood, Mark Gundick, Alpha Dog 409, Cyberfish, Orchard Guy 80. There's so many people showed up so quickly. And we received a ton of harp orders this week, so we only was able to ship out 2 days this week, but next week we're going to be shipping out more often. There's such a growing interest in the harp. We're doing some restructuring, and it's going to lead to more harps being kept in stock. Maxi UWU, hey, hello. Mad Dog P, hello, howdy, how are you? So many people are commenting. Make sure the microphone's pointed at me. That sometimes helps when the microphone is on. This is a Mandarov red case. I think all the cases, they're all the same harp, basically, with a little variance, but the case color differs. Your hair's looking great today. Oh, thank you. It's very windblown. It was very windy here in Kansas. We had wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour, and I was driving a 20-foot U-Haul today, too. But it didn't do as bad in the wind as I thought. Some of the smaller box trucks that are lighter do more poorly in the wind. Patrick Bodine says, gave my friend my Lighthouse white order. Oh, cool deal. Saw the notification. I was faster than a bull on a June bug. Oh, cool. Hello, my friend. I got stationed back at Fort Riley. Do you know of anyone who can train me in the harp? Message bebcorp1@gmail.com. And I'm not as practiced up on the harp this week because I didn't get to play last night because I was driving out of town to help with the move. So this is kind of one of my first nights this week playing the harp, which this is going to be a good night, I have a feeling. I'm doing my glottis. I'm What's the difference between the overhand plucking and underhand? I don't know. Basically, I would say, and I'm not an expert on this, I would say the difference is where you're holding your hand. Sometimes I like to switch back and forth with the Yakutian Homus, because the overhand strike is kind of a hard strike. Some of them like to be struck a little bit harder. So if you have Yakutian Homus, try playing them overhand style. That's normally, I think, how the Yakutians play it. I'm kind of striking it bap, bap. Which, even that rested position, pulling straight toward you, it's a hard strike, but it's not, the impact isn't as hard. The pulling's probably every bit as hard. Does the tail on a harp change the sound, or is it decorative? I would say both. I don't know how much of a difference cutting the tail off in sound makes. I'm kind of spiritual about it. I like tail on harps that have a tail. If you're pressing hard on a harp with a tail, it does kind of dampen the sound a little bit, so it is vibrating. And as a wise person once said, everything affects everything. So I don't know if it changes the pitch much. For me, it changes the feel. And let's just play a Morchang overhand. Like, we're going to switch around and try overhand plucking and underhand plucking. I like the term underhand plucking. But there's several variations of how you can, there's so many different ways you can play with your hand facing this direction too. Let's try some overhand plucking on this, the moon. Might get some clicks out of it. I haven't played this harp a lot. Getting some clicks out of it. That Mandarov, I was holding harder and striking a lot harder too. Hello, woohoo, from Tom in Atlanta. Oh, hello, Tom from Atlanta. How are you doing? How is the harping out yonder? What harps have you been into? I haven't really been into harps this week because of the big move. Patrick Bodine says he only plays outward. Well, I'll do a bit of outward play. Outward play isn't exactly my forte. Every now and again, I do it a little bit. I just said the word do in a sentence. This is a large pokin. We're going to be getting more of them in. They're fairly on the bit of medium stiffness. They respond well to this inward and outward plucks. Because I can't get Zology right now, so these are pretty good. They're set up quite a bit tighter than the Pokins, and a lot stiffer, bigger harp. I'm plucking inward and outward. It says, looks like a golden Snoopy. Speaking of the devil, I do have a Snoopy harp here, and I left this one in its original state. I got it from Amazon. Let's just see what we get out of the Snoopy. I don't play the Snoopy often. It transfers a lot of vibration without making much sound. Have to be really hard because I left this one original. But yeah, don't play the Snoopy often. Not recommended. We'll get back to the big pokin'. Have some sips of some tea. How's the weather been out your way? It's been beautiful here in Kansas. A little bit of rain and then good amounts of wind. It helps to demonstrate without the harp if I'm a little bit more snotty. My congestion this week's been clearing up, so... Hello from the family member you helped move today. Oh, hello! Howdy to sister-in-law Sarah. There's kind of like a overtone that's like wee when you do that wee. And I'm of course doing the glottal stops and the ha. Difference is Why do you close your eyes when you play? Because the harp tends to put me in a really meditative trance type state, and it's easier to keep my eyes closed because then I can get into it more. Harp can alter your consciousness. Some people use it for that, some do not. I think it's maybe a combination of the breathing and the vibration and just being into the music. But if not, if I kept my eyes open, my eyes would just be doing all sorts of giggly-eyed stuff. It's like if I'm saying and as my tongue drops down in my mouth, the tone goes down. As it goes up, tone goes up. Hope y'all are safe in Mississippi. It's I missed that one. I use it for meditative trance. It sucked me in like a vacuum. That's a good way of saying that. I'm kind of holding my breath like, if you kind of push out, and it's fun to demonstrate without the. Your mouth's kind of held the same too. And the more the tongue drops down, the more the pitch drops. When you start bringing your tongue to the roof of your mouth, we're starting to take that cavity of your mouth and make it smaller and smaller and smaller as your tongue. If you think of your mouth like this, tongue drops down, and you want the tone to go up, you go, and when you get your tongue clear to the tip of here, you can get really high tones, and you can take your tongue, if this is the tip of your tongue, and touch it to the top, touch the middle, touch at the bottom. You can move the sides of your tongue up and down. Banjo is very meditative. Oh, nice. I've had good meditation on a soup drum or a soup can too before. It kind of, that meditative trance style, part of it's the music, but part of it's just you and your intention. So I think you could literally bang on a rock and fall into a trance. And I do believe they used to do that back in the Stone Age. If you YouTube the people talking about rock gongs, they have original ones that they found in caves where people would use like a hammer stone or two hammer stones and hammer on these big rocks in different places to get different tones. And if I could go back in time, people have asked me if I could go back in time. That's probably the time period I'd go back to, is listen to somebody playing a rock gong, 10 or 20 or 30,000 years ago. That would be interesting to be a part of. I don't know if I'd want to go back and see the dinosaurs, because dinosaurs would not be kind to a tiny little human. Although it would be cool to see the dinosaurs. Alpha Dog says you can bang it on a rock and make it. Oh, cool. I have a play the soup can, please. Okay, I will try. Now, I have not played the soup can for very much at all this week, and for a couple weeks actually. But I will give it a try. We'll come down yonder here. So I'm probably going to make a fool of myself, but I try to make a fool of myself every time. Every thumbnail I shoot, I try to make it dumber than the last. I'm hitting it with my thumb. I'm hitting it the side here. I like to drum with my finger. It's a comfortable hole for me. I could get lost in playing the drum too, or the soup can. It helps if you have a rattle on your foot. And I was kind of drumming with my foot. That rattle adds something else too. And I'm not much of a drummer, but I do enjoy playing the drums. Not being good at playing the drums doesn't keep me from playing the drums. I bet that Didge with a beer can. Oh, that'd be cool. Let's just grab a drum just for the fun of it. I'm gonna have to scoot the speaker back. And it's early in the evening here in Kansas, so we can make a little bit of noise. We're gonna go back to the harp here in a few minutes. Well, we'll make this a longer one. It don't necessarily need to be 30 minutes. You see here, I have my paper towel for wiping harps off. Have my coconut oil. Have some harps laid off. I like to keep harps close to me because when I'm constantly grabbing them off these two tables, you're like basically looking right up my nose as I'm doing that. But I'm going to do the same thing with this, and I'm not very experienced on the drum. I just play it how I like. I'm going to drum with my thumb here, and I'll drum here just like I was on the soup can. And instead of hitting it with my finger, I'm going to strike it here with my finger in the middle. This middle finger. I don't mean to flip you off, but that's basically what I'm doing. Here's without using my middle finger. Kind of hear where the voice of the drum goes. And I'll add my middle finger. I can zone out on a drum because there's percussion in there. There's like a singing, ringing quality and the rattle, and you just get weird with it. Anyways, I hope the microphone picked that up. I was pretty close to this little microphone with that drum, and that drum is loud. That's a 14-inch, 16-inch Remo. Out of the Remo I bought, that's my favorite so far. Let's just play another harp. Let's see what we can get into. We're just going to get weird with it. My brain is totally burnt out from the day. Didn't air the tutorial this Friday. It'll air next Friday. Gonna have some cool tutorials coming up, hopefully. It was beautiful. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I am not experienced on the drum. I am Smiley said it sounded fine with headphones. Oh, cool. I will note that distance works well. The Mohan bass. Somebody just commented they have a Remo. Oh, cool. I bought it because they weren't expensive, and it gets really humid at certain periods in Kansas throughout the year, and then the humidity will go away, it'll dry out, and then it'll get humid. So I didn't want a drum with an animal skin that'd be stretching. But I've never played an animal skin drum. I do want to someday. Does your homie Porky have a YouTube and Instagram page too? The North American Jaw Harpists do, but Porky's going to be having access to this YouTube channel, also to the Instagram channel, probably also to the TikTok channel, because he is the one shipping out the harps, and I'm going to be doing some promotional content. I think he's going to be doing some demonstrations on harps too. So yeah, Porky will be back a bit. And the collaboration between me and Porky Miller, we're going to be able, once we finish this restructuring over the next couple weeks, we're going to be able to keep a lot more harps in stock at the Harpery. Right now, we're just getting things set up, and harps are shipping out 2 to 4 to 5 times a week. Last week, we shipped out twice a week. Had a lot of orders rolling though, which was really cool. Mark Gunnick says he has animal skin 12-inch. I missed it. I was born in Calgary in Alberta. Oh, how's the great up yonder? How's Alberta, Canada? Hello from Canada, says Pat Pearson. How is Canada? Cool beans, you and Porky jammed well together. Oh, yeah, and we had a fantastic time for several nights jamming. It was a lot of fun. He seems like a great... Porky Miller is a great guy. You can actually look up a song called Porky Miller that I can't remember what the guy's name did at a festival. Songs have been sung to Porky Miller for certain. Oh, yeah, I'm here playing Harp. Howdy. How is everybody doing? LOL, I see that. Hilton and Ray. Oh, I missed those comments. Oh, cool. I missed all them comments. And I'm kind of coming back. Kind of starting to zone out there for a bit. Well, the Mohan Blacksmith and the Harp. Oh, yeah, Mohan we're going to be stocking a lot of Mohan in the future. Mohan are some of the best harps for the money, like under $40, $40, $50, $30 for some of them. gapped insanely tightly, but I've never been able to keep them in stock in the past, basically because I didn't have the time to clean them, because they do arrive pretty dirty and lots of rubbing and sometimes rust removal and cleaning of the harps. So, but we're going to have more in the future. And I am completely out of breath from that breathing circuit I did. Ha! And I was doing some foot stomping. I had it on my right foot. Let's just try it on the left. We're already 20 minutes in. Cool deal. And I wasn't able to play the harp really this week. Did a lot of driving. But one thing I was doing while I was driving, I was trying to keep time. I was listening to songs on the radio, and a lot of time I was noticing that I had like 4 beats a minute. And I'm not an expert on this, but like I was counting, along with the song as the song played, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, finding the beat of it and dividing it into fours and counting that, and then I start dividing that beat in half, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then adding another and in there, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and trying to keep time within songs, dividing it into like fours, and then putting some more dividers in there, putting some more dividers in there. So that was fun. I've been working on trying to keep time, even though I'm not playing a harp. So I've been trying to figure out the time, and I'm not an expert on this. I'm probably not even explaining it very well, but I've been trying to find the time of songs and count it out and then divide them into little other sections that work within the rhythm. Kind of surprised you weren't playing while driving. No, I don't play while driving. That's it. And there was a lot of wind too. And I noticed as I was driving this 20-foot U-Haul that was loaded almost all the way to the top from front till back, is when I was driving the wind. It wasn't bad because your body automatically corrects for that wind when you have, 40-mile-per-hour gusts hitting the side of this giant truck. But as soon as you go under an overpass, or like one time I went right by a whole bunch of trees that were really blocking the wind, and like there was no wind, and then all of a sudden I'm almost in the ditch because I've been overcorrecting that whole time. But anyways, what am I talking about? I'm talking about driving in the wind. I went on a heck of a ramble. Let's get back to playing some Mohan. But what harps, for everybody who's been playing this week, what harps have you been into? What have you been liking? I noticed some people commented Lighthouse, Pokin, and I'll see if I got a Lighthouse handy. Maybe I'll play that for the last harp. Go on the Mohan deep bass. Just going on a Mohan kick. It's cool what he does with the reeds. Not only does he has a spiral at the tip of it, kind of like a Glazerin, got a lot of weight on there, but also there's a lot of tapering and profiling of the reed that you don't see on other harps. Like it's tapering from tip to tip, and it's also not a regular grind. It's like would that be a concave grind where it's curved the whole way down, so you have a really curious property behind them. I like when there's complex grinds on harps. That's cool. Tomikov's another one who does really complex grinding. You can kind of find some overtones when you're breathing. If you find the overtone without the harp, then you can really hone in on what the harp's doing. And you can drop the tone of those clicks too. If you're using your tongue. And this is the roof of your mouth here. And your tongue's here up at the tip. And you're going. When you have your tongue down lower. Same thing on the harp too. Because you're not only kind of amplifying that click, you're amplifying the waves of the harp in your mouth. He says, I've been playing a Rekka hybrid. Oh, I do have a hybrid handy, and it caused me to find my Lighthouse. Where was I? Oh, Rekka hybrid. This is the earliest Rekka hybrid. If you have these, don't ever get rid of them. These are the ones with the squiggle lines. Those are the first Rekka hybrids that were out there. I'll play that next. We'll play this. Let's just jump on to a hybrid. Somebody says a hybrid. We're at 25 minutes. We'll give it a couple more minutes. I'll go live for a couple more minutes, and I'll go tell my son goodnight. And we'll kick off the Saturday evening. This is when I tuned to F. It was pretty close to F when I first got it. I think this is the first batch I got from Rekka. Maybe it was early 2017, maybe. I liked it so much I put a string through there. I think this is paracord. I wouldn't recommend paracord as a necklace unless you have a breakaway on it. So you, like, probably not safe to wear when you're out walking or climbing or hiking, especially. Good day, Jamie, says JNC Mine. Good day to you. And here it's good night. So I don't even know if you see the D. It's just here it's good night. Let's work on that percussive technique. And there would be like opposite of that because you're not working against your teeth. You're working against that curve on the back of your mouth. So this would be your mouth. It'd be like for the high tones as your tongue's clicking on the, would that be your palate? And then dropping back, go down. And there's all sorts of changes you can make in the side of your tongue too as you're making them clicks. Putting the tip of your tongue up like this and then moving it, making a cup with it. Here's the tip of my tongue. If I'm on the tip of my palate, with the tip of it pushed up in a point the most, and then I'm going to cup it out like this. Because there's a ton you can do. Everything you do with your tongue and your mouth changes it in some way. I'm a noob. I bought my first small poke and explain forward. Can you explain oiling the harp and what kind of oil to use and how often? You don't have to oil your harp so you don't want to. You could always wipe them really, really clean of moisture. Then Dernovoy posted... Alexander Dernovoy posted that you can just use the oil from your fingers. You want to kind of keep a harp from rusting. Some environments it's going to be more important to use an oil, like if you're in a humid environment like Kansas, if you're closer to Missouri, the more humid it gets. Parts of Oklahoma might be dry, they might be really humid. So if you're in a humid environment, it might be good if you're storing a lot of harps to have oil on them. I use coconut oil. I just buy big jars of coconut oil, and one big jar is going to last you a long time. Years maybe, and heat it up under running water, and then once it's melted, pour it into a smaller jar. Like this is a jelly jar. This is a sample of jelly we got from somewhere, and I washed it out because little jars are awesome. They're thick too. You get your thumb right in there, and once you're done playing a harp, you wipe it free and clear of moisture. Take that coconut oil, use it kind of like a balm, kind of like you use Carmex, and just rub it where your mouth was, and then rub the frame off too. So if you're in a high humidity environment, it may be important to keep oil on it. Let's play a lighthouse. Let's wrap this up. We're 28 minutes. It doesn't seem like I've been on for even 2 minutes. It's good when you're having fun. There's a sip of tea. The tea's bringing me back to life. I haven't had any caffeine this weekend till this point. So I like to keep my tolerance for caffeine as low as possible so that I can get the most benefit out of it. Because if I drink caffeine all the time, then I'm just drinking caffeine. Thank you, Tom. Says, oh, thank you to Tom as well. Tom's the dude. My first harp was a Lighthouse, and I love it. Yeah, it's one of my favorite-ish Glazerins. It's kind of like the Ascetic and kind of like sometimes a lower-pitched, more flexible version of a Star. I'll do that same. Using my tongue as a tip and bowling it out. As you boil it out, your tongue kind of naturally drops back, so you get this hollower tone. I'm changing my cheeks, too. Kind of follow it. Like that sound, yeah. If you don't have a harp, practice it while you're driving. Because I try to kind of suck in. If you punch that, there's overtones there too, kind of. I guess you're kind of restricting the airflow there to kind of concentrate things. Do you like the Alpha better? I carry an Alpha on me at work. I don't play it very often, just like when I do heating and air and when I'm around a customer. This was before the pandemic. We get to talking about jaw harps, like, well, it's a jaw harp. We're like, oh, here's one. Alpha's good for playing fast, and most of them are clean, or if not clean, then extremely loud. Probably the loudest Glaser might be the Magnum. I don't have a lot of Glaser in my collection. All the Glaser I have are like the lower dollar Glaser and the Wave, the Compass, the Lighthouse, stuff like that. The flat-fronted harps, the Samurai. I really like that Mongol. I don't normally play Glaserin for meditation. Where's that model? Let me find the model. Because that one is super weird. Just hold on a second. If I can find... There it is. There you are. These harps are weird. Look in a good way. And they're not expensive. I play probably more not expensive harps than I do expensive harps. the triggers on them are super short and they're pretty flexible. And oh no, that's not the one I was thinking. The Glasing Yakut. That's the one. I was explaining to the trigger was short. I'm like, hey, the trigger isn't short on this one. Why is that? The Yakut has the really short trigger with a lot of weight on it. All of them have kind of shortish triggers, but they're pretty flexible. But also they feel like playing a Dan Moy that's played up against your lips is the best I could describe it. Patrick Bodine says he plays a lighthouse like you would play Dan Moy noise. Oh, that's cool. I wonder how that'd be. Let me give that a try. I used to try that. It seems like for me, the heavier harps with flexible triggers seem to do better. Yeah, I've noticed that. Also, I've noticed that the Yakut, the Glasner Yakut, they're not really made in Yakutia. They're made in Russia. So they're not what I call a Homus. But most of them have, or some of them have a draw start on them. Anyways, we're going to wrap it up with that. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. I hope the harping is awesome out yonder. I hope that everybody can get out and enjoy this beautiful weather if you're in the Midwestern United States. Well, talking is hard. Anyways, I love y'all. Keep your harps clean. Keep them dry. Keep them old. Be good to each other. Stay awesome, people. Wow, that was a lot of stuttering words for me. Love y'all. Harp out. Harp out.